Hi everyone, my name is Chizitere Ohaji, and this is my end of year presentation for the year 2025 through 2026. So a quick introduction to myself. Hi, Chizitere Ohaji. My major is biochemistry and I'm graduating officially spring 2027. So a quick theming thing with my presentation. Over the course of this year, something as I did as a hobby was rhythm games on my phone or with friends. And in typical rhythm games, you have to tap along to the beat of the song in the background. And you're usually demarcated with either perfect or you hit the note on beat, great. If you didn't hit it off completely on beat or a complete miss, you didn't hit the note at all. And I think life this semester has just been a mixture of just different demarcations of perfects, greats, and misses. So I want to first start off with my summer of 2025. So last summer, I did an internship with Sweet Bio, a biomedical engineering startup company based in Memphis. And their product was basically developing collagen, honey, wound dressings. And my thing was doing a mixture of different things, but my main two priorities were creating a pH testing protocol, which was seen up here. I had to get the samples. They sent me a bunch of wound dressings from their companies, and I had to test the pH modulation of each sample. And this was a 2 day experiment. And then these two pictures when I went in office in Memphis. I traveled to Memphis solo traveling for the first time to do some work there, mostly have fun, but do work. And those are my two bosses, Dr. Rodriguez and Miss Beam. And then I actually secured a publication out of this internship in the Journal of Dermatologic Surgery. And I was a second author right here. And that's the first page of the publication. And then this is a figure I actually made for the publication. We were basically testing how their product, Varus, another honey dressing, worked on Mo's surgery wounds. So, yeah. And then this was all the fun I had in Memphis on those 3 days that was supposed to be a work trip, but it was just a vacation for me. And yeah, that's me in front of Elvis Presley's house, the Grace Field house. That's the snippet of all of his clothing that he wore while he was touring. This was the Memphis Botanical Garden. This was the airport. This was the Memphis Bass Pro Shop Pyramid that I got lucky enough to go inside of. And then this was where my boss prototyped this product for the first time in this lab. I got to tour the University of Memphis engineering building, and that was fun. And then this was a fun little area called Crosstown Concourse, where their radio, Memphis's radio, was being recorded. And then this gets into knowledge, and this was my. So wait, okay, this is my. I got into the preclinical pharmacology core here at UTSA in September. It's been a year since, at the time, a year since I did bench work lab work. So I had like two main projects, studying retinal metabolites in either healthy and disease states using like LCMS, so liquid chromatography, mass spectrometry, and that was the machine I was mostly working with fall semester. And then I got moved over to another project in the spring where I was doing cell work, measuring like currents and voltage with sodium lead channels. But unfortunately, all the cells died. I didn't kill them. So my project has been on hold since then. So just been doing a mix of work now, bacterial culturing and all that. And then my classes this year were kind of challenging. I took my major classes for the first time, so biochemistry 1 and 2. And as you can see, I currently spend many days, hours in front of a whiteboard, charting down pathways, memorizing units for labs. And then for Intro to Clinical Medicine, this was one of my favorite classes. I learned a lot of just mechanisms of diseases and how diseases worked. And I found a study method that worked for me, which was just making Anki cards of every single every single presentation slide and all like 300 slides. And that worked for me. So I would consider this, I guess, a great hit on the musical note scale. And then this was my first miss. So I studied for the MCAT during summer 2025. I was balancing an internship, MCAT studying, and a new change in my life at that point. And this was very stressful. I got a score that is above the average in America nationally, but below the average in Texas, which I would consider a miss, you know. But, you know, the song kind of has to keep going on. And then I actually gained a new hobby. And so last fall, I put on my SMART goals that I wanted to pick up a hobby because I spent the last 2 years of my undergraduate career not having hobbies. So I picked up sewing, felt fabric crafts. So these are all the crafts I've made, not all of them, but this is my favorite 6 that I've made. This was for Kamian. I made this for her birthday. I made this kidney keychain because I saw it on Pinterest. I made this tea bag keychain for from Honeycomb Connections as like a prize for a winner in a social. I made this uterus for fun. It was kind of my biggest project at the time. Then I made this liver for a friend. And then I made this jellyfish for Ashley because it was her birthday last month. So that was her. And I've made plenty more. I just couldn't fit them all into one slide. And then leadership. So I was finally president of the Honeycomb Connection. And this year was kind of an upheaval year because I was taking on, you know, kind of a dying organization. So I kind of revitalized it a little. And these pictures were officer pictures that I took last September. This was a honey gala that I had to be MC for, and it was a lot of fun, very stressful. A lot of things were last minute, but I made it work. And then this was when I had to meet with the Alamo Area Beekeepers Association. This was kind of a secret to the general Top Scholar community, but I was in the running for Texas Honey Queen, which is a national title. But I had to drop out because there was a death in the family and I had to be needed where I was. But I definitely would have won if I stayed in the competition. Well, I was told I was going to win anyway. And this was one of the honey socials that we did last semester that got us, I think, like 40 people in one cramped room. I booked the room thinking, I don't know how many people would show up, but then too many people showed up. And we ran out of food like in 10 minutes. And I had to rush and buy more. And then this was one of the general meetings that I hosted. And then I was a part of PSAC this year and doing PSAC things, being like a representative, I believe, top scholar in the honors college while, you know, talking with the president and other high-ranking officials in UTSA. And then Reach Initiative. I was a student outreach coordinator. So I would recruit students to be volunteers, but then it kind of got cut short very sadly because somebody decided to steal all of the medical equipment and possibly scrap it from copper. And we couldn't really do anything because all of our medical equipment was stolen. So yeah, and then this was a drawing one person gave to me while volunteering. And I kind of keep it still. It was a random drawing. They just gave it to me. And I was like, oh, cool. And then service. So Special Reach was one big service opportunity that I really liked doing. As a reminder, I've been doing it for the past 4 years, so since my senior year of high school, and it's one of my favorite volunteer opportunities. I did it a lot with Pre-Med Society because they would give me rides, and they're also really fun people to be around. So I would consider this both my service and my fun, as well as, I guess, a perfect in the Nook category. I did lots of other service opportunities. I did Gardopia Gardens with Honeycomb Connections, and then I did Reach Initiative, where I basically also, instead of addition to recruiting students to be volunteers, I also did like, what's it called? Check vitals, so blood pressure, glucose, all of that. And then I went to the Ronald McDonald House with Top Scholar as our service project, and that was a lot of cleaning. It was fun. And then Satellite Center was this year, and I really liked it. I liked doing I like taking care of the horses and cleaning, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then some of the lessons I learned this year was a lot in terms of stress and very, very stressful, lots of upheavals in terms of personal life, mental health. So there were two big things I learned, I guess, grace and breaks. So I started not, I wanted to stop kind of beating on myself a lot for not getting the perfect grades that I may assume my peers are getting, but my peers might also might not going through what I'm going through. So yeah, and breaks. Before this year, I barely took breaks. I was always on that grind, whether I'm volunteering somewhere, studying for some exam, doing some extracurricular, but now I kind of just give myself designated 2 hour breaks every day to do nothing and laze about. And that's really changed my mental health for the better. And then future plans. So yesterday, Christy was talking about having a lot of nerve. And with my MCAT score, I'd be a lot of nerve to apply to MD schools with it. So that's priority number one. My future plan is to apply to medical school. And then I'm also participating in the UTSA Intentional and Sustainable Living in Costa Rica with Alvin, LB, Zoe, and Andrea. And basically, we're doing a study abroad where we're learning to live with the land and Rancho Margo in Costa Rica. So I'm quite excited for that. And then here's some fun I've had over the course of both semesters. So I went to one of my favorite musicians ever, Vegiko. They're a shoegaze type of band. And then this was when I went to some Halloween event in Blue Star, and my costume, I went with doing full-on trad goth makeup. And then this was a graduation luncheon for these two. They were one of my first two friends at UTSA. So I went to go celebrate with them after commencement. And then this was on my 13th birthday. This picture was taken 1 a.m. on my birthday. And I was already at a graduation party beforehand. And I had fun at this rooftop bar, and it was a lot of fun. And this is when I went what was a K-pot with a couple of my old friends. And this is when I went to one of my high school friends' birthday party, and we were trying to take care of a snake that his parents didn't know about and trying to keep it under wraps. And then this was one of my friends, Sabini's cat's birthday. So I went to go celebrate her cat's birthday. This is when I went with a couple of high school friends to go to Bay's Biryani, a really good Indian place back at Alamo Ranch. And then this was me and Fabian. And then at the L's kind of become my sanctuary after dark. So people have figured it out now, but you can actually turn on the display and watch whatever you want on there. And that's what I do every now and then. And then back to rhythm games. Over the course of the semester and both semesters, I played rhythm games with my friends. And then this was my birthday party at my house here in San Antonio, with basically combining old friend groups together with old high school friends, new college friends. And yeah, and then that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Chizitere. It has been so fantastic getting to know you, seeing you come out of your shell, grow as a person, grow professionally and academically, but also just personality wise. You have always been a very friendly face and a friend of all of us in the office. And it's always been great just kind of catching up with you, even as busy as we are. And this year, more so than any other, each of us seems to be in different places. We have different obligations. So it's not lost on us that students just see us a little bit less so than they're used to. But we are always confident that whatever Chizitere is doing, she's doing a great job at it. And she's doing it in such a way that has just this vibrancy. And we've used that word a little bit already this morning in some of our other presentations, but yours is a very unique one. And I am just super excited to see what else is next and what you continue with and how you flourish in the remainder of your time here. Have fun in Costa Rica.
Yeah, I think you're a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for. Like on every front, academically, in terms of what you bring to the table with other people, your own resiliency, you're stronger than you think you are. And you're really doing great things. So don't look at those people around you, look at yourself and make sure you're reminding yourself it's strong. You're doing some really good stuff. And you're gonna have a lot of fun this summer.
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate you on like, I mean, I always knew that you were keeping busy and had a lot of things going on, but like when you had the slideshow up and it was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool too. Like you just kept going and going and going. I mean, like it's almost to the point like I'm saying, like, what haven't you done at this point? You know what I mean? I feel like you're going into every single avenue possible and then killing it and then, you know, trying to keep a level head, and that's hard. But I feel like you should give yourself a lot of credit, all things considered, especially, you know, given, you know, the course load that you have, and then trying to keep on top of all the other responsibilities that you give yourself. So you did a great job, and I'm proud of you as a friend.
So cool. You already know this. You're so cool. I already knew like half the stuff you're talking about, but like, dude, I'm proud of you. Oh my god. I hope you have fun in Costa Rica. I hope you get into med school this cycle. I think you will, but good luck.
We're all very proud of you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Chizitere.